Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So, today's video we're going to talk about the Civil War curveball. Now, why am I talking about this curveball? Well, a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now, we had a situation where 13 idiots were going to try to kidnap the governor of Michigan. Now, whatever your thoughts are on the governor of Michigan, I can care less. I get it. She's an asshole. She's trying to run the state like a tyrant, or, you know, she, in your eyes, she might be good for doing that. Whatever it is, I don't give a shit. The fact of the matter is we had 13 morons from a militia try to start civil war by kidnapping the governor of Michigan. So the governor of Michigan, her name is Gretchen Whitmer, sorry. You know, this was foiled by the FBI. Now, being that the FBI, you know, saved her, I guess. Listen, I don't think these 13 idiots were actually going to get it done. These 13 morons were just too stupid to pull off something this elaborate with so many moving parts. That being said, the reason why they wanted to start it is more of the concern. Now, of course, you got 13 morons who thought they were going to kidnap this lady and start civil war. They were also looking at the Virginia governor. Ralph Northam was the Virginia governor, is the Virginia governor. They were looking to kidnap him as well. So now, how do you start civil war? By kidnapping governors. The only other way you can actually go around that, or about it rather, sorry, is kidnapping them and then making or doing, a public execution. That's about as far I can think on how they're going to start a civil war with kidnapping two governors who are constantly surrounded by their own guards, state police, and then local police, depending on where they are. So again, 13 morons thinking they were going to pull this off with just them, with no real intel, with nobody on the inside. There was no way that was going to be pulled off. Now, these guys were part of a militia group called the Michigan 3 Percenters. There are a lot of militia groups out there in the United States. Militia groups, in my opinion, there's too many Indians and not enough chiefs. With that, that is why I don't follow militia groups, because they're all over the place. There's no camaraderie amongst them. There might be camaraderie amongst a couple, but as a whole, there's not a camaraderie amongst them. Case in point, that bullshit that happened out in Texas, not Texas, with that farming family, the cattle family, I can't remember the name of the place, but all of these groups, Oath Keepers, 3 Percenters, you know, the Michigan Boot Ground, the Wolverines, and all this other bullshit come together to protect this cattle family. And from what I was told from people who were there, it was a free-for-all. No one was following anyone. Everybody wanted to be a fucking leader. Nobody wanted to listen. And nobody sat at the tables with the other heads of those militias to discuss what needed to be done and how they were going to break up their responsibilities. That being said, when I found that out, I was out on militias. Listen, like I said, I have my thing about militias. They are needed, but they are needed when they can get together and be on the same page. If you can't be on the same page, you're useless. You're a useless group. Because if you're fighting with this group and you're fighting with that group, what's the point? Nobody wants to follow that bullshit, right? And then you have militia groups that splinter off into their own factions. That's another problem, right? The same shit goes along, guys, with prepper groups. We've had prepper groups that splintered off into their own groups. It happened with my group, right? A bunch of assholes broke off and started their own group. Listen, man, you know, and it's fine with starting your own group as long as you're doing it for a good reason. A lot of splinter groups don't do it for a good reason. They do it because they want to be heard, or they weren't heard enough, whatever the fucking case was. So militia groups, guys, that's my personal opinion. I could be wrong. I know a couple of groups out there that are pretty on the level, but I still wouldn't put my stock in them. Now, the 13 guys who were looking to kidnap Whitmer, again, were from a militia group. Now, being that these 13 guys thought they were going to do, actually, I'm more confused as to what they thought they were going to do. What was their thinking behind their bullshit? Why did they think they were going to get away with what they were trying to get away with? For you to do something like that, you would need an army to storm the governor's home. right? Or the office, the state building, wherever that is. You need an army to do that. You can't have 13 dudes. And if 13 guys are not tactically trained, they're not special forces trained, you really can't get it done. At least if they were all like special forces, I would have been like, all right, they got a fighting chance. These assholes don't, because it's stupid. And the reason why I call them stupid, and I will repeatedly call them stupid, is one, they got caught. Two, you're going to possibly kidnap and or kill somebody to start civil war. They're part of the problem, guys. They are part of the fucking problem. But they're not the only 13 that think like that. This is where this video is going. These 13 are the beginning. They moved up the Civil War timeline. That's the problem. For everyone who thought, well, Civil War is years away, including myself, I'm like, you know what, Civil War is near. I'm going to give it, you know, anywhere between a year to 5. They pushed up that timeline to, like, you know, I don't know what, but they pushed it up because they're not the only 13 thinking like that, and people are going to learn from their mistakes and try again. It's like bank robbers, guys. One bank robber fucks up, the next bank robber will learn from the last guy that fucked up and does it better. So it's pretty bad in the aspect of civil war. And again, we're all watching these fucking fights between political groups go down. They're fighting with one another in the middle of the street because one group wants to vote for Trump, the other group wants to vote for Biden. If we're physically fighting in the streets on this level, civil war is undoubtedly going to happen. Like I said in my video, civil war is not the civil war we're thinking of. There's no leadership behind this civil war. This is going to be amongst groups of people, but it's going to be widespread across the nation in pockets of fires, if you will. The first World War I was started because of a guy named Archduke. If I'm not mistaken, he was like the king of Poland or something like that. If I'm wrong, I'll put the correction now. And so with that sparked off the first Civil War. I think these guys are following that storyline or plot, however you want to put it, and kidnapping these two governors and then doing something shitty like assassinating them, killing them on live stream, public, whatever it is, and then starting a civil war that way. But they were just going to get their asses handed to them by whatever military group was going to step in to save the governor of Michigan and the governor of Virginia, sorry. Guys, bottom line is, this is getting so much worse as far as now they're talking about kidnapping governors and politicians. I mean, how bad is that they actually had a plan, and though the plan did not go through, how many other people, like I said, are sitting by waiting for another opportunity, or planning a better opportunity, I should say. This is just getting more and more carried away. And again, I don't like where this is going. I mean, listen, running people over because they get in your way, I get it. Fist fighting in the middle of the street because someone is voting for Biden or someone's voting for Trump is stupid. I just don't understand the ideology of you're wrong, I'm right, let me punch you in the face. I don't get that ideology. I get being upset because people who vote for Biden are voting for a guy who has a definite cognitive decline. It's definite. It's not even, it's a fact, because we are all watching it every time this guy speaks. Every time Biden speaks, he thinks he's running for something else. I can guarantee you at some point he's going to think he's running for high school president, right? Because that's how bad his decline is, and yet no one's challenging that. So people who vote for a guy who has that kind of cognitive decline, you can get upset at. But going hands-on is stupid. Bottom line, guys, it's just stupid to go hands-on unless they go hands-on with you first. And like I said, I don't know where else to go with this. Other than that, guys, all I can say is keep preparing, keep your head about you. Don't get pissed off at the opposition. Just look at them and either A, laugh or walk away. That's it. Whether you vote for Biden or Trump, doesn't matter. Walk away. So with that being said, guys, we got to continue to prep. And listen, I did the critique on the road, and you guys saw that. And now, you know, no one's going to have 10 years of prep. I mean, listen, you could. It's a possibility. I know a guy who has about 15, 20 years worth of prep. But that's not everyone. That's the small few. So we are definitely going to have a problem with this whole trying to get ready for a long period of time. I mean, listen, it can be done. If you start today, it can be done. If you start cheaply, if you if you buy every canned good you could possibly buy between now and when the shit really gets bad, you could possibly have 20 years. But what if that event doesn't go past 20 years? You better learn how to farm, and you better learn how to can. That's all I'm going to say, because that's going to save your ass. Though in the roads and situation, there was no sunlight. It was all gloom and doom. It was fucking gray clouds every day. The sun, I don't think the sun ever came out, right? Because it was always an overcast because of whatever fucking happened. So if we ended up in that situation, that's a fucking bad situation to be in. And then that's where the cannibalism starts. I don't want to get into cannibalism. That's another argument, discussion altogether. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Pepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. And other than that, guys, thank you for watching.